let's talk about the businesses that you've started.
Okay.
And then how you feel like those have led to what you're doing now. So yeah, let's start from you and your wife's first business.
Okay. So from the beginning. So back to the Marine Corps and how much I disliked it. I think it was the structure of it that I disliked. Someone telling me what to do, when to do it, when to wake up, when to eat. The whole aspect of it I just disliked, and I knew very early on in the 5 years that I was in that I did not want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. So I kind of set myself up while I was in. And when I got out, I still had a job. I worked at the prison for three-ish years, but I had to set myself up financially to be able to go out on my own and be my own boss and everything. So we got back 2014. Shortly after that, and it was I had a vision, I had a plan when I got out what my first 5 years was going to look like, and it kind of panned out. In October of 2014, we bought our first rental, so that helped us out financially, create some kind of supplemental income for us.
Sure.
So we did that in October. I started working at the prison right around then, October, November of 2014. And then I believe it was about March 2015 timeframe that we started looking for a building for what is now Brushes and Barstools, which is a paint and sip studio. People come, they drink wine, and they learn how to paint. That was me pushing Dorothy on something that she had a passion for.
And she had the creativity.
Yeah. And great personality and teaching ability and everything else. I never did anything with the painting. Wasn't able
That's
to.
That's too bad, Lance.
Yeah.
That is too bad.
Probably would have been fun to watch, you know. Probably wouldn't have turned out great.
I would have paid to go and sip wine and just watch you paint, actually.
But yeah, I kind of had to push her. Like she I don't want to say she doesn't have that entrepreneurial like mindset or like spirit, but like she does. I just had to kind of like pull it out of her.
You know what's so interesting? Knowing her now, I would have never thought that. I would have thought that from a very young age, she always had that gene or whatever it is, that personality trait to just kind of like go for it. Let's start it. Let's open this up, whatever it might be. But you're saying you kind of had to. Oh, don't time me here, man. We still need you for another 30 minutes here. But so you feel like you kind of had to bring that out a little bit.
Yeah, she, like you said, you would think that she's always had that in her, which totally. I think she has always had it in her. I just kind of brought it out of her. I think it was just the fear of the unknown for her, like
sure,
not having actual jobs, a 9 to 5, a steady income was scary for her.
At that point, were you guys parents yet?
Yeah, we had Willow when we were stationed in Washington. So okay. Willow was, what did I say, 2015? She was 3 at the time.
Okay. So even adding a child on top of that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a jump. It's a leap of faith. You don't know what's going to happen, especially your first business in a city that's rebuilding. Maybe we were ahead of it. We kind of were ahead of the curve. When we opened up our business, there was 12 other businesses that opened up in the same year, and
really?
just in downtown Butler.
Wow. Do you know how many of those are still in business?
All of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's
so cool. Yeah, so we were at our location. We just moved out with the whole COVID and uncertainty of that. Business and financially didn't make sense to hold a lease over the course of the next 6 to 12, 18 months. So we're still operating Brushes and Barstools. Dorothy's just traveling. She's gone to people's houses. We've got stuff set up at campgrounds. We do take and make kits, everything like that.
You guys just got creative.
Yeah, it's just adapt and overcome. And that's what I think if you look at this climate right now, business climate of the COVID, you're going to see a lot of businesses close.
Yeah.
A lot of small businesses that aren't going to make it out on the other side, and the ones that make it out on the other sides are the ones that can adapt and get creative and change to work within the dynamics that either the government gives us or just what the virus decides to do next.
So that's a great point. I've talked to a few people about this, about what you just said. There are so many businesses, some of that have been in business for decades, that are not changing or doing anything right now. And eventually, I mean, the writing's on the wall for a lot of these people. Like, they're just going to lose their business. Why are some of these business owners, and it doesn't make them bad people, but why do they refuse to mold or change with the necessary change that's needed? Like you guys, like you said, you had your storefront and things happened. So you say, okay, we're going to take this on the road and be more of a traveling thing. We don't have to worry about, face masks or limit the number of people. We're just going to kind of bring this product to you. You've changed that way. Why are some businesses unable or unwilling to do that, in your opinion?
I think when you see that, it's a generational gap,
Sure.
or generational businesses where they aren't the ones that started the business. So they don't have as much, I don't want to say that they're not as passionate as someone, as their father or their grandfather that started it, but that's just the case. It was something that they were given. They didn't have to build it from scratch. They didn't know the struggles. They knew the good times, not the bad times. And they're just unwilling to change. It's like people that still run newspaper ads for their business. Financially and on a marketing standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. There's no the ROI there. It's not. It doesn't make sense with social media nowadays and different kind of marketing outlets. It's just it's the inability to learn and adapt.
Would you say that's what brought Brushes and Barstools, rather? That's what kind of, because I mean, it was a very successful business from a consumer's perspective.
Yeah.
Social media, marketing in a right way was huge for you guys.
Yeah. And even like non-paying marketing, like just making a presence on the platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram. And there's new ones out that I need to get a hold of. Like
these kids, man, it's crazy.
It's like me on Facebook. It's like paper ads to the businesses 5 years ahead of me.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Like TikTok. Like,
yep.
I've been watching it just to kind of gain a perspective on how can I leverage that platform for my business. So it's always a learning curve and keeping up with the trends and everything else. And for some businesses, I think it might just be a cop out, a way to get out. There's businesses that I think that have been wanting to shut down for a while, at least in the local community.
Sure, it might be sucking their family dry for years.
Yeah, and they're just like, this is a clean, easy way to get out. And no one's going to fault them for it.
Sure.
Either way, I'd rather see someone just say, hey, we're closing our doors. Hey, does someone want to buy us out?
Right.
Something along those lines. But I'm no economic genius, but I don't think it takes one to know that the world's going to look a lot different here this time next year.
I completely agree.